This short video will give a general overview of how 3A sanitary standards and accepted practices are developed or revised. This is intended as a very basic introduction. 3A SSI maintains a set of detailed written procedures on its website to assist volunteers and anyone else interested in learning more. You can download a copy of the procedures for the development and maintenance of 3A SSI standards and 3A accepted practices at www.3-a.org. Ever since the first 3A standards were created in the 1920s, 3A has brought together volunteer subject matter experts from across the communities of equipment fabricators, processors, and public interest and regulatory sanitarians to forge consensus on criteria for the hygienic design of food processing equipment and food processing systems. Today, 3A SSI is accredited by the American National Standards Institute, or ANSI, as a standards developer organization. ANSI is recognized as the authority for U.S. developers of consensus documents across multiple industries. The 3A SSI procedures conform to ANSI's essential requirements to help assure openness to all interested parties, a balanced consensus body, open participation, and fundamental due process procedures. This offers all stakeholders an equal voice and the opportunity to participate. 3A SSI encourages all interested individuals to take part in the process, which is free to participate. You can find information on how to join our working groups or the 3A Steering Committee on our working group webpage. 3A SSI welcomes work on new or updated standards and practices to help serve the emerging needs of industry and regulatory professionals for trusted hygienic design criteria. The request for a new or updated standard begins with the submission of a written request, known as a project proposal form. The form is available on our working group webpage. 3A SSI staff will review the request with the submitter to help ensure there are no evident conflicts with existing patents or other current standards of similar scope. Staff will often invite the submitter of the proposal to serve as the document leader on the working group. Then, 3A SSI staff circulates the form and all details of the project to the 3A SSI Steering Committee. The Steering Committee approves the referral of any new project and the working group for a candidate standard or practice. The committee is comprised of subject matter experts and it is balanced with 6 members from each interest category: public interest and regulatory sanitarians, equipment fabricators, and processors. Vacancies are announced to the public as well as industry. The Steering Committee will take a maximum of 30 days to act on the project proposal. If accepted, the project is referred to the appropriate working group for development. This is where the detailed developmental work is carried out, following the conventions and terminology of 3A SSI and the input of specialists and others. Unlike the Steering Committee, each working group differs in size and the members have in-depth knowledge or interest in specific types of equipment. When the working group leader and members reach agreement on a final draft document, and after all comments are resolved, the final draft document is submitted to the consensus body for final approval. During this period, a public notice is posted on the 3A SSI website to allow for the public to comment to the final draft if it is a candidate American National Standard. At the final level of approval, the majority requirement for the consensus body includes quorum requirements and numerical approval requirements. In order for a final draft to be approved, the ballot must be returned from 80% of all voting members and at least 70% of all returned ballots must be in the affirmative. There is a specific process for the consideration of negative comments, and additional rounds of balloting may be required if any proposed revisions from the balloting which are deemed as substantive must be considered. Once the majority requirements are met and there are no further comments or any substantive changes proposed, the document is approved as a 3A sanitary standard or a 3A accepted practice for publication following a 45-day appeal period. Final editorial changes and formatting changes are made prior to the publication of any new or revised standard or accepted practice. Finally, 3A SSI announces the availability of a new or revised standard or accepted practice on the effective date, which is the date of the final ballot report to the consensus body.